Caribbean Sea, usually calm and bright, now stirs under the movement of massive warships. The United States is flexing its muscles again, and Venezuela is feeling the pressure. But what's really going on here? Is this the beginning of a new war, or just a high-stakes political chess game? In today's video, we're diving deep into the US-Venezuela tension, where it started, what America's real goals might be, and why Caracas feels cornered. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's break this down together. To understand today's crisis, we need to rewind a bit. For the past 2 decades, Venezuela has been one of the most controversial countries in Latin America. Once a booming oil giant, it has since fallen into economic collapse, political turmoil, and deep international isolation. Under President Nicolás Maduro, the government often blames American imperialism for its troubles. But critics argue that Venezuela's decline is mostly self-inflicted through corruption, poor management, and failed policies. Inflation has skyrocketed, oil exports have plummeted, and millions of citizens have fled the country.
Lo que sucedió ayer fue el más grande fraude que se haya cometido en cualquier elección nacional. Era un fraude cantado, ya se sabía.
Meanwhile, the United States has started to refocus on its own backyard, the Caribbean and Latin America, regions that used to be firmly within Washington's sphere of influence. In late October 2025, the world was caught off guard. The U.S. deployed a massive naval force into the Caribbean Sea. 8 warships, an aircraft carrier, a nuclear-powered submarine, and a special operations vessel, all heading toward waters near Venezuela. The Trump administration called it an anti-narcotics operation. But let's be honest, that's a lot of firepower for just chasing smugglers. Analysts agree, this is more than just a drug control mission. It's a show of force, a message to the world that America still commands the Western Hemisphere. So what's Washington really trying to achieve here? There are several possible answers. First, geopolitics. Venezuela sits in a key position in the southern Caribbean, close to vital shipping routes and rich oil reserves. For the U.S., controlling stability in that area means protecting trade and energy security. Second, diplomacy and ideology. The America's First doctrine isn't just a slogan. The Trump team wants to restore U.S. dominance in Latin America, countering China's investments and Russia's growing military influence in the region. And third, symbolism. After years of criticism that Washington had grown passive on the global stage, this operation sends a bold message. The United States is still capable and willing to project power anytime, anywhere. Venezuela's response? Predictably fierce. President Nicolás Maduro called the U.S. buildup the greatest threat to Latin America in 100 years. He accused Washington of planning a regime change under the disguise of anti-narcotics enforcement. Maduro even declared that if attacked, Venezuela would become a republic in arms. His government increased troop deployments along the coast and reactivated civilian militias. Caracas also sent a formal protest to the United Nations, accusing the U.S. of violating Venezuelan sovereignty. But here's the thing. Many analysts believe Maduro's outrage also serves domestic politics. Facing economic disaster and declining popularity, he's using external threats to unite the country under nationalism and fear. In short, by painting the U.S. as the villain, he's trying to rally his people around the flag, even as life inside the country keeps getting harder. The international response has been split. Russia condemned the U.S. military buildup as excessive and pledged support for Venezuela. China called for restraint and diplomacy. Meanwhile, Cuba, Nicaragua, and Bolivia sided openly with Caracas. On the other hand, countries like Colombia, Brazil, and Guyana urged calm but quietly understood America's security motives. Many experts see this as a 21st century test of power politics, where one fleet's movement can ripple through capitals from Washington to Moscow. Now, let's be fair. It's easy to blame foreign powers for everything, but Venezuela's biggest problems didn't start with the US Navy. They started at home. The country's economy has collapsed. The oil industry, once the crown jewel of Latin America, has been crippled by corruption and mismanagement. Hyperinflation destroyed savings, and millions have been forced to leave in search of a better life abroad. So when Maduro warns about an external threat, the real threat, many argue, has long been internal, failed leadership and policies that gutted the nation's potential. Meanwhile, the United States, despite its controversies, continues to demonstrate remarkable discipline, coordination, and strategic planning. You don't have to agree with every move America makes, but you can't deny the scale and precision of its power. From Washington's perspective, the operation has been carefully calculated. No missiles fired, no invasion, just presence. Visible, undeniable presence. The goal isn't war, it's deterrence. By positioning massive forces near Venezuela, the U.S. sends a simple but powerful signal. We're watching. Don't cross the line. In diplomatic terms, this is called coercive diplomacy, using power to influence behavior without firing a shot. And so far, it's working. Venezuela has toned down its rhetoric, and regional tensions have eased slightly. The U.S. managed to assert dominance without pulling a trigger. Still, such moves are never without risks. The Caribbean is now crowded with powerful militaries operating in close proximity. One miscalculation, a low-flying jet, a radar error, or a mistaken shot could spark a crisis no one wants. That's why most global leaders hope the U.S. keeps its actions measured and diplomatic. Because if a conflict truly breaks out, the impact won't stay in the Caribbean. It'll shake the entire global economy and political order. So, here we are, the U.S. and Venezuela locked in a tense standoff. One side trying to reaffirm global leadership, the other fighting to preserve sovereignty amid internal chaos. So, what do you think? Is the U.S. overstepping or simply maintaining the balance of power in its own neighborhood? And what could Venezuela do to defuse the situation without escalating further? Let's talk about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into global politics. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay curious, and remember, in geopolitics, power is never just about weapons. It's about who controls the narrative.